Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good day to our respected lecturer Dr. Abdul Manaf and to all my fellow friends. So we are from group number 6, Beyonce. We're going to present about our movie, which is Insane. So our group members stand of 6 people. We will begin our presentation and I'll be invite Hanisa binti Badru Hisham to begin the presentation.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Hanisa binti Badru Hisham, matric number 261103. So I will start the presentation with the executive summary. So our movie is Insane, a South Korean thriller movie which was released on April 7, 2016. This movie is about a young woman, Kang So-ah, and a TV producer, Na Nam-soo. This diagram shows some of the characters in the movie. Kang Byung-jo is So-ah's stepfather. Jang Hyun-sik is the doctor at the hospital. Dong-sik is the nurse at the hospital. Miro is another patient at the hospital. Director Cha is the one who gave Na Nam-soo a new TV show, while Jiang is Na Nam-soo's assistant. Detective Park is the detective who helped Nam-soo in finding information about Kang So-ah. There are some ethical issues portrayed in the movie, which most of them are related to Kang So-ah and Na Nam-soo. We will explain about the ethical issues in the movie in our presentation.
Hi, my name is Nopati Izzati binti Makroni, matric number 261176. We'll present on the case summary. So, this movie is actually a film about a young woman named Kang So-ah. She seems like a normal person who doesn't have mental health problem, but one day she was kidnapped by some men while she was walking through a road. She was then brought to a psychiatric hospital, get locked, given arbitrary medicine and undergoes cruel violence. So she wrote all her conditions there in a diary. And a year later, a TV producer, Na Nam-soo, received So-ah's diary from unknown resource. So he felt horrified and then he began to make investigation about the case. It is known that So-ah has been sentenced jail to her stepfather murder case. Na Nam-soo went to the prison to meet So-ah to find out the truth. So when So-ah revealed the truth, Na Nam-soo broadcast the story for his TV program. So Na Nam-soo also helped So-ah to get out of the prison because he fully believed that the story that told by So-ah, that her stepfather committed suicide, not being killed by her. And on the day when So-ah has been released, Na Nam-soo drove So-ah to her house. Unexpectedly, So-ah said to him, "From the story I read, the pen can be a weapon in the hospital." So, this ending part is the plot twist, which we can see that all the truths that So-ah told before is not the real things. The story that she wrote is actually everything she lied all this time. So, there are some ethical issues portrayed in the movie, which are ethic of care, moral right, retributive justice, compensatory justice, ethic of word, and ethic of truth. So all of these ethical issues mostly relate to the main character, that is Kang So-ah. However, the plot twist had depicted a major part of this movie is just a lie that created by Kang So-ah, which lead to because the ethical issue that critically happen in real life, which is deception to save our own self. So in our presentation, we have portrayed the significant ethical issue in the movie. So we will start with the first ethical issue.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nushaira binti Zainal, matric number 264269. I will continue with ethics of care. Ethics of care is a practice or virtue of maintaining the relationship and meeting the needs of ourselves and others. In other words, a person needs to care for the people around them who are dependent on and related to them. The next one is ethical awareness. Nanamsu feels concerned about Sua's feeling and condition after he listened to her story about her experience in the mental hospital. He feels that he needs to help Sua to be released out from the prison after he believes that Sua is not her father's murderer. Second one is Dr. Zhang. Dr. Zhang did not care about the people in the hospital at all. He did not have any sympathy on them as he tortured and killed them without feeling any guilty. Awareness of stakeholder. The first stakeholder is the hospital staff. They cooperate with Dr. Zhang to commit the crimes together. They help the doctor to kidnap the patients and lock them in the hospital rooms. The second stakeholder is Sua's stepfather, who is Chief Kang. Chief Kang was Dr. Zhang's business partner. He made a deal with Dr. Zhang to commit organ trafficking in order to get wealthier. He also put Sua in Dr. Zhang's hospital for money. Next, ethical reasoning. For Dr. Zhang and hospital staff, they commit crimes because they believe that Chief Kang can easily cover the crime that they committed since Chief Kang is a police chief. The stakeholder who has the strongest ethical argument is Chief Kang. If he does not cooperate with Dr. Zhang, it will be difficult for the people at hospital to do those illegal acts by themselves. The last one is the ethical suggestion. Chief Kang should never make a deal with Dr. Zhang to commit crimes, because as a police officer, he should care about the people's safety and conditions. Dr. Zhang should not agree to the deal requested by Chief Kang, because as a doctor, his duty is to take care of people's health. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good day to everyone. My name is Nur Salsabila binti Muhammad Jamil. My metric number 265682. So now I'm going to present about the moral of right. So in the movie of Insane, this movie highlight the moral of right. When Namsu received Su'a diary and he want to research for the truth about the Kang Su'a. So before Namsu broadcast her story on his TV program, Su was in jail and she was found guilty of being murdered her stepfather. In this scenario, Namsu found that from the diary that he received, the content of the diary showed that Su'a became a victim of the case, which means she had to receive the punishment for something that she never did. He became curious and started to investigate about Su'a. He felt that he needed to find out what really happened, so he made Su'a to understand the real situation. The moral of right arises in this incident since Namsu finds that Su'a was innocent based on his findings. The second part in this topic, I'm going to explain about the awareness of the stakeholders. With the stakeholder awareness from this movie Insane, we could see that it is important to make sure the right thing before we act to do something drastically. So in this movie, we could see that Namsu struggled so hard to find the truth. However, even though he wanted to do the right thing, he was not unsure with the truth by believing all Su'a's story all this time. So he also did not make further investigation regarding Su'a's real condition, whether she have a mental problem. Besides, he fights to reopen the case to prove that Namsu was innocent. So in other situation, when Su'a claims that he did not kill her stepfather, we realize that it was not easy for us to believe someone did or not doing something. We never knew their real intention. So we can see in the story how Su'a manipulated her story and dumped Namsu for believing her story. In the story, we could see that Su'a killed her stepfather because of the too much hate that she feels, which led her to kill her stepfather. We also could not identify whether she acted to kill because full of hate or she is truly insane. Hence, related to business environment nowadays, it is important to have the ethics of moral rights. The ethics give a very important impact to the stakeholders in the business organization. To have the feeling of doing right is a must, but to act according what we think it is need a very full details evidence before we act something, because lastly, we are the one who will be blamed and take responsible on what we did. So the last one is the ethical suggestion. So in our opinion, to overcome this issue is we need to conduct a background of the person and checks too many sources to ensure the credentials of a person and prevent someone from misinterpreting the wrong information. So Namsu managed to get everything he wanted by meeting Sua multiple times to get the information regarding her situation. So this could have been avoided if background checks were conducted and Namsu will surely not act in a non-ethical way. Besides, it is important to have a professionalism in doing job towards others. For example, in the story, Namsu acts to find the truth with the feeling of sympathy and empathy but lack of professionalism. He seemed to believe Su's story without any misinterpretation and suspension. So in this situation, we would like to suggest that it is important to filter the information first and act professionally in improving the truth. We could not claim something as truth based on our opinions and our own interpretation regarding the issue. Therefore, it is important to act carefully because we are responsible to everything that we done.
So one of the ethical issue in this movie is retributive justice. So the meaning of retributive justice, it is a theory of punishment that when an offender break the law, justice requires that they suffer in return. The response to a crime is proportional to the offense. Okay, so the ethical awareness for this ethical issue is Kang Suah are punished by the being accused as a murder of her stepfather as court has sentenced her 7 years of jail. She does not admit as her stepfather mother because she insists that her stepfather shot him. That is awareness of stakeholders. So stakeholder in this retributive justice issue is Kang Suah. Kang Suah. However, it is not clear whether Kang Suah is really insane or she's just having too much grudge toward her stepfather. But our insight is that she may be aware of killing her stepfather because from the story told, it seemed like she really hates her stepfather. That is ethical reasoning for the retributive justice issue. So through the flashback in the movie told by Kang Soo-ah to Na Nam-so, we can observe that she was constantly abused from childhood. So this might be the ethical reasoning for her to kill her stepfather. But in Soo-ah's perspective, she probably committed the crime because she thinks that once her stepfather died, she can live happily. But this is not true because once her stepfather died, she had been sentenced in jail. Okay, move on to the ethical suggestion. Actually, Suah should lodge a police report about the condition that happened to her when she was constantly abused by her stepfather. She should make an ethical decision that are based on law and regulation and not emotions.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day. My name is Nurul Amirah Naziha binti Ismail and my matric number is 261112. So today I will explain about compensatory justice. Okay, compensatory justice is actually one of the ethical issue in the movie. So compensatory justice is actually a justice that restored to a person what the person had lost when someone wronged him or her. In other words, when one person wrongfully causes losses on another person, that person has a moral duty to compensate his or her victim for that losses. Okay, we can relate this issue with the situation of Nanamso compensated the popular TV shows after falsifying the information. In this movie, when Nanamso falsifying the statement during the TV shows, it caused the TV shows some losses. So we can see that Nanamso compensated the TV shows by doing a great comeback. He started to discover what happened to Kang Soa, and his contents actually makes the audience interested with his story. At the same time, it increased the rating of the TV shows. So we can prove that Nanamso is actually aware of the ethical issue that he had caused. So, as for the awareness of the stakeholders regarding this ethical issue, we can consider the employee as the one of the stakeholders. The employee is actually referred to the woman staff who works together with Nam Namso in revealing the case of Kang Soa. She was aware that Nam Namso is going to pay back the losses, so she helped Nam Namso in his comeback. We can say that she diligently did her work, in which she searched the information regarding Mr. Han's background and always accompanied Nam Namso. The next stakeholders is actually the managers of Nam Namso. He is actually the one who kept advising Nam Namso to do a better job. He was also aware what had happened to Nam Namso and constantly reminded him to make sure he finds a great content for the TV shows so that the TV shows will get high rating. Okay, now we move to the ethical reasoning, in which we will see from three different perspectives, which is from the perspective of Nam Namso, the woman staff, and the managers. From Nam Namso's point of view, broadcasting Kang Soa's story is the only way he can help the TV shows to strengthen its name. He realized that his misstatement in the past somehow affected the ratings. Therefore, she decided to discover what really happened to Kang Soa, as he believed that it was more than a kidnapping case. Next, from the point of view of the woman staff, she believed that by helping Nam Namso, he can get back on track in which to be a great TV producer. The woman staff also believed that Nam Namso's action are accordingly with the compensatory justice, as he was very determined in revealing the case and at the same time to get the attention from the audience, uh, since he is doing his comeback from being suspended for about a year. And the last one, as for the manager, at first he thought that Nam Namso wanted to discover Kang Soa's case just because of his own desire. However, when Nam Namso seems so determined and managed to get high rating for the TV shows, the manager started to believe that Nam Namso was actually trying to fulfill the losses that he had caused. So, in our opinion, the strongest ethical argument between these three characters is the woman staff. It is because without the woman staff, it would be very difficult for Nam Namso to compensate the TV show. In addition, the woman staff is also the one who works closely with Nam Namso, and she can see how hard Nam Namso is trying to pay the losses. Okay, the last one is about ethical suggestion. Regarding this matter, we suggest that Nam Namso should not be suspended from his work for a year. It is because a year break is too long for him, as he might face some difficulties in surviving with his life. So in our opinion, suspension for several months is accepted as long as he knows his wrongdoing and aware that he should do something in order to recover the TV show's rating. In fact, the TV shows could actually tell Nam Nam So that he needs to bring back the rating so that it can be considered as a win-win situation for both sides. So we can see that the compensatory justice is fulfilled in this movie.
Thank you. I will continue with the next ethical issue in the movie. So next is ethic of work or work ethic. Work ethic is an individual attitude of determination and dedication toward their works. One of the unethical behavior of ethic of work in workplace is abusive behavior. So, ethical awareness. In this movie, we can relate the ethic of work for abusive behavior with the doctor and nurse at the hospital. So, the doctor and nurse treat all the patients at the hospital unethically. The patient were locked, given medication, and undergoes cruel violence without any specific reason. Some of the patients also suffer from the abusive behavior because the doctor took out the patient organ for the illegal business. Next is awareness of stakeholder. So, in this movie, we can consider that the employee as the stakeholder. So, the employee we refer is the nurse. The nurse are the one who kidnapped and brought Su'ah to the psychiatric hospital. The nurse also gave unknown medication to the patient and treat them badly. So the next stakeholder is the doctor. The doctor is the one who gave all the instruction to the nurse. So he is the one who is responsible on the abusive behavior of the employee towards the patient. The doctor also took the patient organ for the illegal business. Another stakeholder for the ethical issue is Kang Byung-jo, who is Kang So-ah's stepfather. He gave So-ah to the hospital, agreed on selling her organ, and even though he is a policeman and fully aware of the situation at the hospital, he did not take any action towards the hospital. Next is ethical reasoning. So, from the Kang So-ah point of view, she is a victim of abusive behavior. This can be seen from the flashback in the movie, which So-ah told Nam-soo that she was raped by her stepfather, Kang Byung-jo, and constantly abused since her childhood. So, because of that, she thinks that by killing her stepfather would end her suffering. From the doctor and nurse perspective, they are the individual with abusive behavior. So, people with power and position may sometimes misuse it in mistreating and disrespecting others. So, as the doctor have power over the patient at the hospital, he abused them and also give instruction to the nurse to do the same. So the nurse have nothing but follow his instruction. As for Kang Byung-jo, he is an abusive person. He raped and abused So-ah since her childhood. He also agreed on giving her to the hospital and selling her organs. So, in our opinion, the stakeholder who has the strongest ethical argument is the So-ah stepfather, Kang Byung-jo. This is because he was the first person who abused So-ah, and because of him, So-ah suffered a lot, and even think by killing him would end her suffering. And last, ethical suggestion. Our suggestion is by setting up more help centers, especially at the rural areas, as it is difficult for individual who suffering because of the abuse. The help center should allow the victim to report the cases without giving out their personal information, as it could harm them. Help center would definitely help Su'ah if she could open up to them about her abusive father. Su'ah also might not have to suffer it until her adulthood, and could prevent her from killing her stepfather just to end her suffering. That's all from my part. I will give to the next presenter. Thank you.
A very good morning to my fellow lecturer, Dr. Manaf, and all my fellow friends. So today I will be talking about ethics of truth from the movie Insane. Ethical of awareness. Nam-soo was aware with Kang Sua's issue as a television programmer. He went to meet Kang Sua to know more about her, as he only get to know few informations about her from her stolen diary. Awareness of stakeholders. The stakeholder for Ethic of Truth is Kang Sua. She got punished for the accusation to murder her stepfather, Kang Byung-chu. Next, ethical of reasoning. Kang Sua has been abused since young age by her stepfather, Kang Byung-chu. She shares her past stories with Nam-soo, who is a television programmer who came to meet her to get more information about her after he read about her issue from her stolen diary, and he got shocked and he wants to know more about her after that. Kang Byung-chu raped and abused his stepdaughter Kang Sua when she was still a child. Lastly, ethical of suggestion. The first suggestion is victims need to have the audacity to fight against the abuser. For instance, in my opinion, Kang Sua should be brave enough to fight against Kang Byung-chu when she's in a threat situation, when Kang Byung-chu tends to rape or abuse Kang Sua. And secondly, the victim should have lodged report without revealing all her information. In this case, Kang Sua made a mistake by revealing all her information. By revealing all her information, this made Nam-soo, a television programmer, to know about her issue and make her issue as a real-life program. Thank you.
Okay, next I will present regarding the lesson that can be learned from this movie. There are several lessons that can be learned after watching this movie. The first lesson is this movie teaches us to always be honest in whatever we are doing. It is important to tell the truth to people in order to avoid misunderstanding that later would harm others. This lesson we can relate with the situation of Nam-soo, where he falsifies the information, and as the consequences he is being suspended from his work for a year. The second lesson is it is not good to be involved in illegal trafficking. In fact, illegal trafficking is prohibited in most countries in this world. This lesson relates with the scenario of Dr. Chang and all the men nurses, where they kidnap somebody and sold their organs. Their activities prove that they are lack of morality and their actions are both morally and legally wrong. The next lesson is we should be wise and careful to not be easily get into somebody's trap, especially someone we do not know. This incident we can relate with Nam Namso where he trusts Kang Soa so easy that lead him to act without thinking rationally, and it caused him to trap himself at the end of the day because Kang Soha is actually lied to him. The last one is we can see that the effort of Nam Namso in revealing what happened to Kang Soa tells us that we should always be determined in doing our works. His diligent effort led him to help Kang Soa to be out of the prison. So he also managed to get high rating for the TV shows. So we can conclude that to achieve something, the determination of ourselves is the key to success. That is all from me. Thank you.